Solving problems that involve I to a power, they always follow a specific pattern. They always go in this pattern. I to the first power is the square root of -1. I squared is then -1. I to the third power becomes the negative of the square root of -1. I to the fourth power becomes +1. And it repeats from there on. So I to the fifth power would be the square root of -1. I to the sixth power would become -1. I to the seventh power would become the negative of the square root of -1. I to the eighth power would become 1. And you just keep counting through like that. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And you can just keep going on all the way through for however many numbers you need. When you're dealing with complex numbers, they are always written in the form a plus bi. A is the real part, and bi is the imaginary part. When you have a number such as 5 minus the square root of -16, 5 is the real part. When we have to factor the -16, that becomes 4i. We would write this as 5 minus 4i. That's an example of a complex number. If we have something like this, the square root of -8 plus 4, the square root of -8 becomes 2i radical 2. We add the plus 4. This isn't in complex form because a comes first. So we have to rewrite this with the a first. So this would be 4 plus 2i radical 2. Just like when we write numbers in front of variables. All right, you need to make sure that you put the number in front of the imaginary part. Other than that, dealing with these is just like dealing with the factoring of the square root and the factoring of the imaginary part. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Again, refer to this lesson as often as needed. Use your book, email me,